Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Pretty and I'm Clarity Cuts. And I'm back with another video today. I will tell you that I do apologize for the lighting here. I did have a ring light, but it kept showing up on my glasses, so I just turned it off. I'm really just hoping that it's my message and my tone that comes through. That's why I do these videos. So do forgive me if it doesn't look the best or professional. I will get better as I go along. I'm new to all of this, but I really wanted to put this video out there for those of you who need it. And I truly believe that, this video will find you if you need it. So today's topic is going to be when parents give their power away to their children. And I'm not sure about you all, but the last few days have been kind of wild energetically for me. My mind's blank. It's a bit mushy, so I have made notes. I will be reading off of them because I don't want to forget anything. I feel like this is, a tender, real topic, and, there's some things here that I just want to make sure I say without forgetting. So here we go. Take a deep breath. So yeah, like I said, this is a tender, real topic, and I'm finding that, many parents, families are struggling through this quietly, silently, and often with a lot of guilt. So I felt called to just do a small video to help those of you out there in need. So yeah, this is a balance, an imbalance that's happening slowly and quietly. And it's beginning with love. I know that everything that we do for our children does begin with love, but it collapses structure in your household. And, many parents fear saying no. They over-explain. And as a result, the children are becoming the emotional authority in the home. And respect is breaking down between the both of you or the lot of you. And somewhere along the line, parents stopped parenting. And not through lack of love or care. But I feel like, the emotion, not the emotion, exhaustion, the fear and guilt took over. And I believe that if we can name it, then we can correct it. So let me give you a few examples. Parents doing everything for their children or their young adults. Parents picking up after their children, 18, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds. Allowing disrespect in your home because you fear confrontation. Saying yes when you really want to say no. Parents walking on eggshells, trying to be a friend instead of a parent. Children dictating the emotional climate of the home. And these are everyday things, but they accumulate. They just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So why do we do this? Why do we give our power away? And like I said, none of it comes from a lack of love. I think it's love that's lost its boundaries. We let our boundaries slide. We let them go. And we feel guilty somehow. We want to be liked by our children. Many of us are overcompensating for our own childhood wounds that we haven't healed. We don't want our child to feel discomfort. We We fear conflict. We're exhausted as parents, especially now, nowadays in this world. Costs are rising. Both parents are working, many, working overtime. Many of you out there are single parents, holding the weight on your own. And yeah, it's exhausting. I understand that. We feel responsible for a child's happiness. And we know that happiness comes from within. Yet we're showing them that happiness comes from without by overdoing, overgiving of our time, our energy. So what do we do as parents? We bend, we bend some more, and then we bend some more. And eventually, the child becomes the one in charge when they never asked for it. So there's a cost to this dynamic, and this part's important. When you give your power away to your child, you're asking them to hold the weight that they were never meant to carry. Children feel unsafe when they're the strongest ones in the home. They push back because they want structure. They want that. Respect dissolves between you and your child or children or the family as a whole. Parents feel resentment. The child feels entitlement. And often the child develops anxiety. The relationship becomes strained. And we think we're helping. But what we're doing is we're weakening the both of us, or the whole lot of us. So there is good news. And the good news is that this can be corrected. And it's going to take strength. And it's going to take resilience. And your child will push back. Maybe a little. Most likely a lot. They've been conditioned to receive in a certain way. So you have to recondition them. But it is a condition, and it's not set in stone, and it can be corrected. Pushback's going to be normal. Your child wants structure, so they're going to resist. And respect will return when structure returns. Your tone sets the tone for the home. Your tone, not theirs. And a parent in their power teaches a child to hold their own power and be in their own power. I'm going to repeat that. A parent in their power teaches a child to hold their own power. That's big. If you hold your line with love, if you hold your line with clarity, if you reclaim your own inner authority, the family will reset. So a few places you can begin. Firstly, say no without guilt, without over-explaining. Stop rescuing your adult children from natural consequences. Let them trip. Let them fall. It's okay. They'll be fine. They'll figure it out. Reclaim your emotional space. Their mood isn't your weather. Let them do things themselves. That's how they learn. And let your tone lead, not your fear. Ask yourself, where did I give my power away? And sit with that. See what comes up. Boundaries aren't punishment. Boundaries are guidance. Boundaries equals love. You want peace. You want respect. You want unity in your home. And you deserve that. But it begins with you. It begins with your tone. It begins with your inner authority. Setting boundaries. Slowly but consistently. It's your script. It's your story. And if this video finds you, then, maybe it's your time to look at this. And I see you. And I support you through all of this. And you can reclaim your power with love and with clarity. You'll find that your child will rise to meet you. So, just know you've got this. Take a breath. It's going to be okay. So I hope this helps. I hope, there's something in this that steers you in the right direction. And if you know anyone that's going through this similar dynamics or same dynamics, please share this video with them. Truly would appreciate it. And I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for being here with me. There's more to come, and we'll see you in the next video.